Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? What do you guys want to talk about? Do you guys want another story? Well, today's story is called The Love Potion. Love Potion is a spooky story about a young man who buys a magic potion to cast a spell of love over a woman he desires. A 21-year-old man went on a holiday to the Bahamas. When he arrived at his hotel, he found everything to his liking. The weather was perfect, the beach was immaculate, the hotel was high class, and the atmosphere was exciting. That night, he put on his most expensive aftershave and an expensive shirt and went down to the hotel bar for a drink. He spotted a beautiful woman in a revealing red dress standing at the bar. She was incredibly attractive with long dark hair, deep brown eyes, tan skin, full lips, round hips, and ample charms. She had it all. The man stared at her and was enchanted by her eyes, so much so that he instantly fell in love. Gathering his courage, he went over to the woman and stood next to her at the bar. When the opportunity arose, he leaned in and asked if he could buy her a drink. Imagine his disappointment when she refused and dismissed him with a wave of her hand. It made him crazy. He felt rejected and became very annoyed. It was as if she had stabbed him straight through the heart. He was so disappointed that he returned to his hotel room, hanging his head in shame. The next night, he went back to the bar and spotted her again. This time, he would give it a second chance. "Hi, my name is Josh," he said, flashing a smile. "Why would I care what your name is?" she said. "I thought maybe we could get to know each other a little better," he said hopefully. "I'd rather chew off my own leg," was her reply. Again, the young man found himself making his way back to his room, feeling humiliated. The next day, as he was exploring the city, he walked past an old woman who was selling her wares by the side of the street. He saw that she had a sign that read, "Spell casting and black magic." Stopping at her car, he asked her if she had something that could make a woman fall head over heels in love with a man. The woman smiled and told him that she had the perfect solution for him. She held up a small bottle with a heart on the glass. It contained a red syrup-like liquid. She told him that it was a love potion. The man eagerly took the bottle and paid her for it. As he was leaving, the old woman warned him to only put on a single drop into the drink of the woman he intended to use it on, otherwise, she said, he might regret it. That night, the young man strolled into the bar and sat down with the young woman. He began to speak with her gently. She turned her head as if to avoid it. He took the opportunity to pour the love potion into her glass. In case the potion wasn't effective, he poured the entire bottle into her drink. 20 minutes later, the woman turned to him and smiled. Her eyes glittered and her pupils dilated. Before he could say a word, she threw herself on him and began to kiss him passionately. The man couldn't believe his luck. The love potion actually worked. They spent the entire night in a romantic embrace, kissing and cuddling like newlyweds. When morning came, the woman wanted to surprise him. She decided to prepare a lovely breakfast and went looking for cream cheese and croissants. Unfortunately, the minute she set foot outside the hotel, she was run over by a car. The car tire squished her head into a bloody pulp, and she died on the spot. The young man spent the whole day crying. As night fell, he began to get over her, but he found himself unable to sleep. As he lay in bed, tossing and turning, he suddenly sensed a presence in the room. Turning over, he was horrified to see the ghostly figure of the woman in red crouching down by the door. When she raised her head, he realized that the skin on her face had been ripped off, revealing the bone underneath. Before he had a chance to react, she jumped on him and began kissing him passionately, mashing her bony teeth and mutilated lips against his mouth. He screamed and screamed, but she didn't let go until morning. Every night she returned until the end of his life. Who's in the mood for another story? This next story is called The Bride. The Bride is a scary story about a young woman who goes missing on the day of her wedding. It is based on an urban legend known as the Mistletoe Bride, or the Bride in Sikh, or the Missing Bride. A version of this legend appeared in the book Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. A young couple got married, and after the wedding, they held a reception in the bride's grandmother's house. All their family and friends arrived, and they laughed, danced, and sang long into the night. After the wedding reception, the guests decided to play a game of hide and seek. The groom covered his eyes and began counting to 100, while his new bride and the other guests ran out of the room, looking for somewhere to hide. Eventually, the groom had found everyone except for his beautiful bride. The other guests began calling out her name and searched everywhere for the young woman. They began to grow more and more uneasy when they couldn't find any trace of her. Eventually, they gave up searching, and everybody assumed that the girl had run away and left her husband. As the weeks went by, the husband accepted that his beautiful bride must have had second thoughts about their marriage. He decided to forget about her and go on with his life. A few years later, a cleaning lady was dusting in the attic when she came across an old trunk. Out of curiosity, she opened it. Inside the trunk, she found the rotting corpse of a young woman, still dressed in a bridal gown. There was a wedding ring on the bony finger. It was the missing bride. She must have hid it in the trunk and accidentally locked herself inside. It was impossible to tell whether she had suffocated or starved to death, but her face was frozen in a silent scream.